in the most desolate place on Earth, where a frozen land is shaped by harsh weather, there is a strange sort of sound seeping through the ice.
Antarctica is the closest thing you can come to visiting another planet without leaving the Earth.
The sound is not alien, it's planetary. Trapped seismic waves vibrating across the world's largest expanse of floating ice. The Ross Ice Shelf in Antarctica, pancake flat and the size of Texas.
Sounds a bit like a didgeridoo. It's got a very interesting tone to it.
Geophysicist Rick Astor with Colorado State University and his team of scientists deployed the world's largest network of seismometers in the snow dunes and packed ice of the Ross Ice Shelf to study and listen.
Well, it didn't go for very long here at my place. It probably went about 15 seconds, 20 seconds at the most, I would have thought. But it was a hell of a jolt and a juttering feeling. It was going backwards and forwards like this for a good 15, 20 seconds. And then it went quiet with a sonic boom after it. By the time you get all yourself gathered, it's nearly over and done with.
And have you been amazed by what you found?
I have actually, particularly in the ground movement, where in places my ground would have risen up at least 30 to 40 centimetres.
How long have you lived here, Dan?
40 years.
Have you ever seen anything like this? Or?
Nothing. No. It's been a very quiet, peaceful area until a fortnight ago.
Reports of loud booms heard in Brookfield remain a mystery.
While people at Brookfield still suspect the explosion-type noises are related to local injection wells, Glenn Stevens says state regulators have found no evidence of that.
Injection wells have been a subject of controversy since the permits were first granted. The latest complaints concern loud explosion-type noises. Gloria Douglas lives directly adjacent to the well site.
Yeah, very distinct. You know, it's something that you've not heard here before.
And it's loud?
Very loud. It's like an explosion. I call it an explosion boom.
Brookfield trustee Dan Suttle says ODNR was contacted and checks were conducted on 3 seismic monitors at and around the well site.
They did look at the monitoring devices, and there was no seismic activity that occurred.
A spokesman for ODNR says that local authorities also did an on-site inspection and found nothing at the site that would indicate a possible explosion. But Suttle says residents did not accept that as a possible source.
They shake their head and say it was much louder. It shook their house, in fact, the boom noise.
Learning more about what caused a mysterious boom across the Gulf Coast this afternoon.
Our newsroom was flooded with phone calls, emails, and social media messages from viewers in different cities.
Kim, this really alarmed people concerned that something had happened at one of the industrial plants. People in Grand Bay telling us they felt their home shake. It was felt over on the eastern shore. People described feeling that shaking, then hearing a boom. Now, the USGS not registering any earthquakes in our area today, but today's activity did register on University of South Alabama's seismometer.
And right here is after 2 o'clock. Just after 2 o'clock, it's about 2:03, maybe about 30 seconds after 2:03. There's a little impulse right there, and then it immediately stops. So there's no lingering vibration or anything like that. So there was some sort of event that triggered some shaking of the ground.
Here along the Gulf Coast, what was that loud boom that shook houses all across our area? Well, tonight there are all kinds of theories as to what caused the commotion. Folks all across the Gulf Coast took to social media to report the big boom. Bay Minette to Irvington, West Mobile, even over to Pascagoula. Some say it shook their homes. Some just heard a loud sound. Others said they didn't feel a thing. A seismogram from Bruton shows the shaking associated with the event. A seismograph at the University of South Alabama picked it up as well.
People from South Philadelphia to South Jersey are tired of being woken up in the middle of the night.
Okay, so they're trying to figure out what's causing this strange noise. We're going to play it for you right here. I don't know. So this is,
it sounds like music, right?
They say it's music. It can be heard on both sides of the Delaware River there. Police in New Jersey, they got more than 50 complaints about this noise. It's heard between 3 and 5 in the morning. So police in Delaware, they haven't been able to find the source either. Coast Guard is even involved in this case. Apparently, it says the noise isn't coming from a ship.
It's a quiet, working-class neighborhood.
But recently, that calm has been disturbed.
Something bomb-related going off in the neighborhood.
This security camera near 35th Avenue and West Muriel Drive caught one of those blasts.
I mean, you usually hear them late at night, too. That's the thing. It's not during the day.
And for the past month, neighbors say they've become common.
Anywhere between 1 to 2 a night.
So far, no one has been injured by whatever is causing the blasts, but some worry it'll only be a matter of time.
Traffic in a popular entertainment area of Fort Worth is likely to become even more congested in the coming days because they got a big problem. It's about 6 feet long and it's a sinkhole.
As work begins to repair a 6-foot-long sinkhole that formed near one of the city's busy entertainment centers,
I am in shock. That's crazy that that could happen.
Workers are still trying to determine why the sinkhole formed.
Until we really investigate, able to uncover what's going on, we won't know.
Sinkhole opening up this morning in downtown Fort Worth. Doesn't look like anybody was hurt, but man, look at that. Emergency workers out there for quite a while blocking off the danger zone and redirecting traffic.
In Cranston now, where drivers are being urged to avoid Cranston Street north of Park Avenue as crews work to repair a large sinkhole. The sinkhole was discovered this morning just south of the Dyer Avenue intersection.
7 a.m. the Cranston Street had to be closed in both directions. And now they've told us efforts to fix it will take until about midnight tonight. Just south of the intersection with Dyer Avenue, crews are on the scene right now. Police are advising you to take alternate routes.
Yeah, and take a look at how big this thing is, too. It's at least 10 feet wide, looks to be about 15 feet deep, and the neighbors tell us it is only getting bigger.
It could be 10 feet wide, about 8 feet wide. I'm looking at maybe 8, 9. Wow.
Terrell Hardy is still taking it all in. Right behind him is this huge sinkhole right next to his home. He knew about it, but he did not know it had gotten so big.
At that time, it was maybe just 10 feet deep, maybe about 3, 4 feet wide. And I didn't notice until today, until you came, how large it has gotten since then. It's come up this far to our property. Now it's onto our property as well.
Hardy lives off Coddington Lane in Statesville. He says he and his next door neighbors have been dealing with it for months. At first, it wasn't a big deal. But then, Hardy's neighbors share this picture of the way it looked like after the sinkhole was discovered. The hole now on the edge of that neighbor's fence and creeping up slowly towards Hardy's house.
I can't even let my kids outside to play. Not in the backyard.
They are losing ground in Oxford, Nova Scotia in more ways than one. The big sinkhole there is getting bigger, now measuring about 60 feet across at its widest point.
Bruce Selkirk has had to chase away more than one person trying to get a peek at Oxford's big attraction.
It's gone probably 15 feet overnight. That's kind of a continual thing here. It's not nice to be nasty, but sometimes you have to be.
Officials with the Emergency Measures Organization say there may be more holes to keep an eye on. They have asked Lions members and ground staff to keep an eye out for new holes or depressions in the ground.
Yeah, these started when the sinkhole started over there.
Ty Ingram has found 3.
From what the geologist said, where there's one, there's bound to be others, so it's something to keep a close eye on.
Officials with the Emergency Measures Organization surveyed this sinkhole earlier today with a drone to establish a frame of reference of its size for the coming days, because the feeling here is that it's going to continue to get bigger. The sinkhole now seems to be collapsing away from the Lions Club building and towards the lake. No plans have been made to move things out of the building just yet, but that could all change should the unpredictable sinkhole change course.
Not much longer. I believe those trees are going to come down.
If it does, it'll be the 4th large tree consumed by the ever-growing sinkhole.
It's got to be a huge cavity down there when it takes a 40-foot spruce tree like you flush the toilet.
The unique site is starting to draw the curious. Some have ignored the fenced-off area and approached the gaping hole.
We're losing about 6 or 8 feet of sod a day off the perimeter of the hole. And if you happen to be standing on there, you wouldn't have a chance. Nobody could save you. You'd be gone.
It's overhanging right now. All this is undermined, and this stump is taking all the pressure and strength.
Ty Ingram's job as groundskeeper has gone from maintaining the property to maintaining a perimeter around the sinkhole. Groundskeepers have spotted cracks in the earth about 3.5 meters from the edge of this hole. They say there's no telling how large it's going to get.
It could drop out from underneath us right now, where we're standing.
Since Tuesday, the sinkhole has swallowed a second picnic table. Eyes are now turning toward the Lions Club building a few meters away. The sinkhole started small, only a meter or so wide. It grew to this by Tuesday. Now, it's about 30 meters or 100 feet wide.
Where is everything going? Everything is falling in, but they say that there's nothing in the bottom of the hole. So I find it very interesting that where is it going?